Well, we've got our official first look at Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and it's not exactly what everybody was thinking. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about the upcoming Prequel comic. Check out the new covers, which are the official first art, and when this comic drops, because it does give us a great idea of when the series is going to come our way. Now, as everybody knows, Marvel Animation's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is going to find its way on the Disney Plus sometime soon. But as of right now, we don't have a release date. Now, earlier today, Marvel Comics actually announced a new comic series that will serve as a prequel to the upcoming Disney Plus series. Now, along with this announcement, we got 2 covers from this new series, and this technically is our official first look at the comic, so while we talk about this a little bit, I'm going to show them in the background. Now, as far as the series goes, it's going to be written by Marvel veteran Christos Gage, and will be illustrated by Eric Kapster. Now, the series is going to be a 5-issue limited series, and will basically introduce young Peter Parker, all of the supporting cast, and some of the villains that will be part of the upcoming series. Now, along with that, the comic will introduce some adventures that will basically lead into the upcoming animated series, which does focus on Peter's earliest days as Spider-Man. As far as these covers go, I have to say they were pretty much what we were expecting. A lot of art has leaked for this project, but since this is the first official look, I have to say I like the different stylized Spider-Man, and a young superhero would very likely be first utilitarian in their costume because they don't have a lot of resources, and their stylings would probably change a lot because honestly, when you're a teenager, well, that is the most dynamic phase of your life, and there's no reason to think that Peter would settle on one costume and then just stick with it indefinitely. Now, along with the covers, they did release an official description, and that does pull back the curtain a little bit on the series. It says, in Marvel Animation's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Peter Parker is on his way to becoming a hero, with a journey unlike what we've seen before, and a style that celebrates the character's earliest comic book roots. In this new comic book series, you can take the very first steps along with him as he discovers his powers, decides to become a hero, and even picks up the name and the costume. Now, Peter's got to survive an entire freshman year as a newbie crime fighter vigilante, and if you think you know how the story goes, you are in for a surprise. Now, based on this description, it sounds like the comic series is really going to focus on how Peter got his powers, with the animated series kind of picking up after that, making this somewhat of required reading, it seems. Honestly, seeing characters' origins reimagined and retold is always something I've always enjoyed, so I'm definitely going to check these out, and I'm curious what variations this version of Spider-Man has. Now, Gage did go on to talk about the series a little bit, talking about how he's had the privilege of writing a lot of Spider-Man for both comics and the Insomniac games, and how excited he was to retell these early exploits. He also talked a little bit about the new cast of characters, including Nico Minaro, who, as many of you know, was a member of the Runaways, which has driven a lot of discussion about what's going on in the series because she's not the only magic-using character. We know Doctor Strange is going to be there, and it sounds like this is going to be a very, very comic booky series with maybe a good bit of magic. Now, here's what's interesting. The series will come our way on December the 11th, leading me to believe, since this is a 5-issue limited series, well, we're very likely to get the animated series release either next April or May, giving the series time to get fleshed out, fans time to read the books, and then have the series drop after the whole story is released. Once these comics drop, we'll try to do a full-on prequel video. Those were great when the MCU used to do prequel comics that were set between the films, something Marvel hasn't done for a long time, and I really think this is going to be something that's a lot of fun. What do you guys think?